Hello there. Welcome again to another lazy show where we teach you Autocad in a way that is more productive so you can stop wasting your time. So today it's a private live stream. You're probably gonna watch this recording later, but I wanted to show up still and share a macro code, a new macro command that hopefully you can tweak it and implement it in your workflow to automate some task right in AutoCAD. So let me share that with you. And this is a project that I was working with a client, right? Um, so the client had some requests, and I would like to share with you. This is a file that I received from my client, and I'm gonna open that up to uh, share with you, right? Some of these processes that I implemented with AutoCAD macros, because I know macros are a favorite topic for you. So here's the drawing. I created a copy just to have a backup. It's the same file, but let's inspect it really quick. And as you can see, here is a drawing from my client, and he put some nice instructions over here as to what he needs to do this macro that I'm about to create for him. So one of the first steps is that he needs to uh, delete the text and dimensions with this quick macro command. um so yeah, so and then of course step number two, so this of course this drawing, this AutoCAD drawing, is going to be used on a CNC saw machine, as you are seeing it here. So then here what we need is as conversion of typical drawings into saw machine, delete curves. So he's talking about deleting all of these curves right here, right? So if that command or the macro command can quickly do that, that's also awesome. And then on step number three, says to use the chamfer command to set to 0 to join some of these corners right here, right? Let's see over here, step number four, um, send to extend all lines that are split into 2 or 3 parts, like so. And then this is the final drawing that will look something like this. Everything on layer 0, everything color white. And yeah, so let's see how we can help this person, right? Our client. We're doing this live, so you're probably gonna watch this recording later. But let's see how much we can progress towards achieving um, this request. All right. So again, we're gonna create a macro. So I created a copy. So I'm gonna go to this. Um, let's see. So I'm gonna close this so you don't get confused. Close that out, and I'm gonna go back again and reopen this drawing right here. Again, it's the same drawing. But to keep things organized, what I did is created a copy. All right, that's the same drawing. And what I'm gonna focus is on this part right here, right? Because there are many items right here. I'm gonna just simply delete it because again, I already have a copy of all of this. So I'm gonna delete all of this information so that way I can only focus on the part that we need to focus on, right? So let's see if I'm just gonna quickly do a test before I keep talking, and then there's something wrong with the mic or whatever. So let me quickly do a test. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So the audio is good. Everything is good. So let's keep moving. All right. So one of the first steps is, of course, I'm gonna go to a new palette right here on my tool palette, right? You can access your tool palette with Control 3, of course. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna erase this just to keep things clean. And to create a command, of course, a macro command, we can hold and drag anything to our tool palette. I'm gonna add this polyline, and I'm gonna right click on it and say properties. All right. Um, so over here, what we can do is, so let me rearrange this window so you can see things better. What we can do here is name our command. Of course, in this case, it's all up to our client, but I can call it lazy CNC conversion or whatever, right? That's all up to our client. But just let's keep moving. So we cannot access our macro string right here, but we have to change this use flyout from yes to no, and then we will be able to edit our code. Of course, I'm gonna erase this because I don't need that. And we're gonna start getting ready over here to start putting some of our macro coding, right? So we can start creating this macro command. So the first step, if you remember, was I believe, to erase all of our dimensions, text, and text, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave the CC just because that means to cancel any active command, so that's good. And I'm gonna use this option called SSX, following by a enter, right, on my keyboard. And I'm gonna say none, and then I'm gonna also say E for entity, and the entity that I want to select, because this SSX feature is a way to select objects from the command line. That's what we are trying to do with macros. Trying to run all of the commands from the command line, right? So you don't have to um, click things here and there. So again, entity, and what the entity that we want to select is, of course, our text and then our mtext. And what else? Oh, the dimensions also, right? So that's what I'm gonna say, dimension. And then to accept that, I'm gonna simply press 2 times enter again, and that way we can select the text, all of our mtext, and as well as the dimensions with this piece of code. But once we select this, what do we want to do with this, right? Well, per the client request, what we need to do is erase these items. All right, so what I'm gonna do is use the erase command, following by an enter, of course, and then I need to erase our previous selection. So I'm gonna say P and then input 2 times enter. So let's quickly test this first piece of code, right, to see whether we have any problems, right, so we can quickly toggle and fix them. So I'm gonna click OK, and then let's quickly test this quick code, right? So I'm gonna click on it, and boom, beautifully, so far the macro command is working here. It erased, as you can see from the command line, 132 objects, which were text, mtext, and so on. But there is still something right here. So we have a text here. It's not a text, but it's a multi-letter. So yeah, so let's see how we can. So let's undo with Control Z a couple of times. And so what we can do is, of course, go under the properties again for the command by right clicking on it. And once we do that, we can add one more item right here by using a comma, and then we can save multi-liter, right? So once we do that and test it, let's see if now, yes, beautifully it removed all of your multi-liters, text, dimensions, mtext, and so on. So that's one of the first steps that our client had in mind. Again, to delete text, dimensions, and everything, and leave, of course, only these items at this step, right? So great. So we're gonna now keep moving with trying to tackle the next request, right? And the way we're gonna do it is, let me see right here. It says conversion of typical drawings for stuff into drawing. So delete curves. Okay, so in this step, he wants to delete the curves, meaning these curves right here. As you can see, there is one right here. I mean, by curves, he means arcs, right? There are many arcs right there. And so at this stage, he already removed those, as you can see. And there's a cloud here that says we ignore sinks and hubs as this will be cut off with CNC after CNC stuff uses position chips or such as silicon. So basically, my client wants to delete all of the curves or arcs, but keep this sink right here. Okay, so in order to do that, right, of course, let's go back to our drawing, and so that's an arc right there. So what's this? This is a line. So of course he will have to let's go. Let's see how we can do this, guys. So we have a sink right there. So he's gonna erase the other portion of the sink. Let me go to the final. Yeah, so he will only keep the sink. So we have a challenge here, guys, because how Autocad is gonna recognize the sizes of sink with a macro, right? So what we can do is let our client protect this sink, right? And by, of course, picking a new layer, right? Maybe let's see what layers our client have. So let's see over here. Okay, there are many layers right here. So of course we don't know the layer that our client wants this sink, but for now what we can do is, let's see what layer is this. Layer 0. Okay. Okay, so let's try something. Let's try to hide this sink, right? So we can protect it. First, I'm gonna join it, right, with the J command. I mean the J shortcut to join. It's not joining because there are some weird properties right here. So let's place it on layer 0, right? So layer 0, like so. Color by layer, of course. And then let's see what happens if we hide this property. I mean this object, the sink, right? So I'm gonna hide it. Nope, it's not hide. Let's see. Oops, let's see something. Hide objects. So let's try the hide objects, right? That's a command, hide object. And yeah, so let's see. Let's test things out, right? So of course, if we go to our final piece of code, we only need the sink. So that's what the client will have to do is, of course, erase this part that he doesn't need. But let's see if by hiding the sink, it will get protected when we erased the curves or arcs with our macro command. All right. We don't know that we're doing this live. So let's go under properties again for our CNC command, and let's add over here the arcs, right? So arc feature, so we can also erase those arcs. So let's click OK, and let's test this. Of course, we have many arcs right here. Let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna select, and says 24 objects erased. Of course, those were the arcs, as you can see. So that's good right there. But the final test is to check whether our sync arcs were protected or not, right? So let's see. So let's try the unhide objects. And nope. You can see that the arcs weren't protected just because um, it wasn't this arc wasn't part of the polyline itself. Okay, so what we can do is let's undo, right? Let's undo and try to protect our arcs by having a one single polyline, right? So let's do undo, Control Z a couple of times till we can see our arcs right there. And let's again unhide our objects. That's our arc right there. So let's try to join them, right? The way I'm gonna do it is using the overkill command. So I'm gonna use the overkill, and let's see if we can somehow clean this sync that probably has many lines overlapping. So I'm gonna press enter, and I'm gonna click OK, and let's see. Nope, it still is not joining. So let's try one more thing. Join. Nope, this command is now. So it probably is because the as you can see, some of these geometry are not connecting or something. So yeah, so that's a problem, because you can see we have an arc right there, right? So okay, so let's try another thing right here, guys. This is a challenge again. Let's see. Let me think for a second right here, guys. So overkill is not joining these items. What if we freeze them, right? What if we freeze this sync? Would that work? Let's try that out, right? So yeah, so let's try that out, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the layer of this object, and I'm gonna freeze it, and let's see if that protects our sync arcs. All right, so let's just try that. What I can do is yeah, let's pick a layer. No, I'm gonna create a brand new layer just to keep things. So I'm gonna use the layer command, and I'm gonna say M for make, and I'm gonna create a new layer called sync, and I'm gonna place my object on that specific layer. All right, so I'm gonna go here, and here we go. It's on the layer sync. I'm gonna change the color. No, it's fine. All right, so second test, I'm gonna freeze this layer with the regular freeze command, lay freeze, and of course this is the current layer, so I'm gonna change the current layer to 0 just to avoid problems. Okay, I'm gonna freeze my sync layer, And let's see if if the sink arcs will get protected. We don't know that. Again, we're doing this live, so we're testing these things out. So I'm gonna click that, and as you can see, the arcs were removed. So let's see if the layer, let's open our layer palette. Let's see if the layer sink is protected or not. And no, guys, you can see that only the um oh, so you can see that only the arc that is right here got erased. So second try failed also, guys, for protecting our arc for the sink. So let me think a third solution. Okay, of course I'm gonna undo, right, to bring back everything. So that's the sink, and our curves are right there. All right, second try. So what I can do is, what if I lock the layer of my sink? Will that protect the arcs? Let's try it. We don't know, right? That. So let's click lock, and let's lock this layer. As you can see, it's locked now. So let's try it. Of course, this is the only thing that our client will have to do, right? Is simply lock his sink layer and then run its CNC macro command, and will do everything for him, right? I mean, one step or two steps for all of these manual steps that he will have to do. So let's try it again, guys. Let's try to erase all of the arcs. Let's click on it. And great. Awesome, guys. So finally, with the third try, we found a solution to protect the arcs for our sink, right? So that's great. That's good news right there. Um, so yeah, so let's keep moving now, because we finally um, could achieve this second step, which was delete the curves or the arcs, right? As you can see right here. And but of course protect our sink, right? That's why he clouded it. And we can also see on the final drawing that he wants the sink. All right, so let's keep moving. Let's keep moving, guys. Hopefully you are gonna find value out of this troubleshooting macro command that we're creating live for this client. And you can implement it in your own macro, right? For your own work, for your own stuff. In this case, it's a CNC, but you might be an electrician, you might be an engineer, or in my case, an architect or designer, architectural designer. So let's see. Let's see over here now. It's saying to step 3 conversion of typical drawing, says chamfer set to 0. So he means to join these corners, right, or fillet them so they can touch. Now let's see step number. Wait, but what I see here is that he doesn't have some of it, this other line work. So this is kitchen carcass is brown. So at this point, I don't see that over here. So yeah, so this is why where he wants to also erase some of this line work, right? The brown one, as well as this. What is this? This is polish wrap. Okay, so what about this one? Let's go to the final And no, we don't see it either. Okay, so let's add that to our code. Let's add to our code the ability to erase certain layers. So let's see how we can do that, how we can erase these two layers. We also have the same brown right here, and we don't see it on the final. Okay, so let's add that piece of code and let's see how we can do that. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm gonna need the exact name of this layer, and I'm gonna open my layer palette for that. And let's see, so it's this brown right here, so let me stretch this. So what is this brown? I think it's this one. Let's see. Yep, this is the layer. So now that I found it, I want to simply press F2 and simply copy that layer, right? Copy. Okay. Now what I can do is once I have the layer, I'm going to go back to my CNC command, go to properties, and over here what I like to do is we need to select this specific layer first in order to erase it, right? And we're going to use the same expression SSN over here, sorry, SSX, and following by the same prompts, which were none, enter, and then of course I'm gonna press one more time enter to accept that. And in this case I'm gonna say my item, it's not gonna be a text, it's not gonna be an M text, it's gonna be a layer, a specific layer. So I'm gonna say layer. In this case we need to put the name of our layer, and I'm gonna paste that because I just copied it, and I'm gonna go ahead and press enter to accept that a couple of times, right? Similar to what I did over here. All right, so let's test that. Well, mm, well, in order to test it, right, we need first to let this macro knows what to do after selecting this layer, right? So, and it's gonna be the same idea as this. I want to erase this layer, so I'm gonna say erase and press enter, and then I'm gonna say erase what? Erase our previous selection, right? Which was the selection of this layer. So let's quickly test that, well, to see if it works or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and of course we don't want to test it right here, we want to test it on this drawing that we have. Let's click on it, and nope, nothing happens. So let's expand our command line with F2 and let's see what's going on. So SS says dimensions erase too far or lock unlock layer. Nope. So let's go back to our code. As you can see, the layer is still there, right? This is the layer that we are trying to erase, and then of course we can erase this second one. So let's go and go under properties. Let's see, let me check something. What's going on right here, right? Okay. So here we go. I believe the problem is the layer name. So you can see this layer name contains spaces right here. As you can see, there is one space right here and another one. And macro commands don't like this type of spaces because you get confused, right? A space in a macro, it's kind of like an enter or a semicolon, similar to this. You can use a semicolon, or you could also use a space to say that you want an enter from your keyboard. So that's why it's not working. So in order to avoid this, what I can do is use these quotes, and and of course we'll need another quote right here to let AutoCAD know that, hey, this is an entire name for my layer. All right, so let's try that out and let's see. Let's click on it. Nope. Still says there are log layers. Let me expand this again. So SSX, select object, none, entity. So nope. For two found two were on log layer. It says. Let's see. Let's see if we can troubleshoot this live, guys. Let me go back to the code. Again, this is one of the difficulties of doing this live, right? It's very challenging to do all of these steps live. But let's see, let's try to inspect the error right here. So mentions arcs, layer. Okay. So okay, so let's try something, guys. Let's try something. Um, I'm gonna run. So okay. So I'm gonna, in order to troubleshoot this again, if you're watching this recording, you are seeing exactly all of the steps and issues and difficulties that I have to overcome when creating these macro commands for clients, right? And of course, you're gonna use all of this knowledge to create your own commands, your own macro commands. So what I'm gonna do is copy this and paste it right here, so I can edit this code and simply focus on the part that is not working. In this case, the layer. So I'm gonna erase all of this code to about right here. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave only the layer and erase. Yes, of course. I'm gonna click OK. So let's see if by only using this piece of code it will work or not. So let's see. And here we go, guys. It worked. As you can see, I deleted immediately the specific layer with this macro code. So that immediately tells me that the problem might be with this log layer, right? So since we have a log item right here, maybe AutoCAD, it's having some difficulties, but you can see by simply running the code where we needed to delete the layer, it did it. It worked. You can see that brown layer was removed immediately. So then that means we're in a good direction here. What I want to try is so so then I can erase now this. I'm gonna delete it because I know that the problem is not the code itself. I mean, it's not this part of the code, is something related to the log layer right here. So let's see if we can try it over here on this drawing, just because here we don't have the log layer and everything. So let's try it right here just to see what happened. All right, so I'm gonna click on it, And boom, as you can see, the code works beautifully here because again, it erased the brown layer right here, but we are not protecting our sink. So let's undo. Let's see, let's do another test. So let's grab our sink and let's of course create a brand new layer, right? In this case, call layer make sink. So let's assign the sink layer to these items. So sink is right there, and of course then so if we lock this layer, I think that's where the problem is coming. But I'm gonna try to lock it anyway. So let's see. So I'm gonna lock it. So the sink layer is locked. I'm gonna see, place this on layer 0. So let's try our command. So I'm gonna click on it and boom, here we go, guys. So we're on a good path here. I think what happened is simply the order of the code, right? Over here, all of our dimensions text were already removed. So what this command is doing is trying to erase or remove the dimensions and the text again, but there is no text or dimensions. So then what's happening is the macro command is going to the next selection, which was the log sync. And you can imagine, you already know that you cannot erase a log layer. So that's why the code is struggling, right? But if we do it from the beginning on a drawing like this, you can see that it works beautifully. The sink is staying there. The arcs are being removed. Um, the brown layer is also being removed. Of course, we need to also remove this layer now. So let's keep moving with the code, guys. It's working beautifully as you are seeing it. So let me undo over here, Control Z, just to avoid changing anything here, because this is the copy that we don't want to, messed up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is over here, I'm gonna of course implement this other layer, right? This other layer right here. So that layer is, so let's go over here, 3 polish, right? So what I'm gonna do is go to my layer palette and kind of do the same steps, right? Copy that layer name so I know exactly. So I think was this one. Yes, it's that one right there. You can see it went away. All right. So now I can copy this layer with Control C, or just say copy. And then of course I can go to my macro code, go to properties and include that layer. So what I can do is, let's see if I can somehow use a comma to again use these quotes, paste my new layer and close quotes, right? So let's see if this SSX feature can select multiple layers at once instead of repeating the code. All right, so I'm gonna click OK, and again to test it, I'm gonna go to a new drawing, to something like this, and I'm gonna test it. And nope, it didn't erase this item right here. So what I can do is then of course go back to my properties, and we're gonna have to input the layer again in a different code. So it's this one right here. I'm gonna erase it. Control X. erase the comma, of course, and I'm gonna paste it right here, my layer name, so I don't get confused. All right. And what I can do is mm, copy this same piece of code. All right. Control C and go back and paste it with Control V. And in this case, I want to change the layer name, so I'm gonna cut it and go ahead and paste it right here. Oops, no. Make sure you are selecting the correct characters because this will bring problems. So it's right there. So I'm gonna paste it and this should work, I believe. So let's click OK. So let's cross fingers and test this. And boom, guys, beautifully awesome, great. So as you can see, the brown layer as well as this other layer that was over here get removed. Everything is working fine. Our arcs are also removed as suggested. Our sink is protected. um, we're almost there, guys. So let me undo now, because again we don't want to mess up this drawing. So it's right here. All right. Oof, almost there. So much trouble, right, guys? Hopefully when you watch this recording, you can let me know in the chat what do you think about all of these steps that we're doing, right? So much trouble, and we're doing this live, so all right. So let's keep moving over here. Of course, we need to chamfer or set 0, which means connect or fillet these lines, right? So let's see. We need to do this step also. But over here it says external are spin to through parts. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's try the chamfer. Let's try the chamfer, guys. The chamfer option, all right? Okay, so let me go over here and start thinking how I can do that, how I can connect those lines. Let's see. Okay, what I'm gonna do is let's go back to our initial drawing right here, and so we had to connect some of these lines. So I kind of already created a command for this before, I believe. So I have this lazy cup. Probably you remember from another video. This was a way to close open boundaries to hatch quickly. So let's see if we can reuse this. So I'm gonna test it, right? Again, just first try, right? See what happens, so I don't have to start from 0. So I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna select all of my objects. Let's see, I'm gonna select all of these objects, and can see, nope, it's not working as expected right here. um, So I'm gonna undo that, guys, because that's not what we want. And of course, this doesn't exist anymore, right? We already added in the code how to erase those two layers. So what I can do is I can copy this, and I'm gonna go to this new palette and I'm gonna paste it. Just to do a second test, I'm gonna go to properties, and again, this is a command that we created before, using the p-edit option with a fast value of 0. So I'm gonna bump up that value Just to do a second test, gonna bump that fuse value of fuse. I don't know how to pronounce that. Fast value to 100, and let's see what that does. So uh, gonna do a second test. Let's see. Whoa, 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 whoa! Here we go. Here we go, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh my, I wish you were here. You're losing all of this fun information. You can see how immediately it closed the open boundary. I mean the openings were, remember, we removed the curves and all of these were open. So that's what our client wants, guys. He wanted to connect all of these um so let me undo so you can see better if you missed it. All right, so let's undo that. And you can see we have a gap right there, another gap, another gap. And again, those were the curves that got removed. But by utilizing now we just quickly tweaked our lazy cap command, right? Which got a fast value of 1, and we bump it up to 100 just because these openings are bigger, right? When we created the lazy cap was to close small gaps that when hatching we had problems. So let's try it again. Look at that. That works beautiful. It should work beautiful again. So let's select our objects, and boom, guys. Awesome, awesome, very awesome. So let's go to the final step right here, which was we already chamfer all of the objects, which is everything needs to be on layer 0, guys, and of course white by layer. So everything needs to be on that. As you can see, it says convert all lines to white solid, and everything is on layer 0 also. All right, great. Okay, yeah, so let's do that final step, guys. I'm gonna go over here on this drawing. And how can we do that? How can we change everything to layer 0, right? So let's see. We're almost 1 hour here trying to create this command. And it was very challenging. We're almost there. The last step is to change all of these objects to layer 0, guys. How can we do that? We're gonna select everything. Yes. Um, so we can change the color. How can we do that? How can we select everything to layer 0, right? That's the final piece of the puzzle that we need to change here, guys. So let's see, are these polylines or all lines? Let's see, we have a polyline. We have probably a line right here, no, a polyline also, a polyline. So all of this looks like our point. Okay, we're gonna use a command, guys. Call. So let's do. So first, before we move, of course, let me copy this piece of code, right? Copy that out and added it to our main CNC command, right? Because we don't want to start forgetting about implementing this. So what I'm going to do is go all the way to the end and of course paste with Control V. Here we go. So now we have the code that we already tested it. We know it works. So I'm going to click OK. And now what I need, instead of guys going over here and adding more code to this already big code, um, I'm gonna go and simply edit this small. Uh, so this is to change um, all to layer 0. So once I get this working, I can proceed and copy this to the main macro command, right? That's a smart way to work, guys, when creating this command, because if we just keep adding and adding code to our main macro, if there is a an error, you will have to figure it out, right? Where the error comes from. But if we only focus on a specific portions, like on this one, I'm gonna only focus on changing everything to layer 0. Once I know it's working, then I can copy and put it into my main code, right? Okay, so what I can do is use a command here. Command called chprop, or also change properties, right? So I'm gonna press enter to utilize that command. And some of the prompts that it asks is, one is properties. So I'm gonna press P, of course, for properties, right? And the property that we want to change is, of course, to accept that, I'm gonna press another enter to say yes, we wanna change the properties of a layer. So I'm gonna say LA for layer. And then what I can say is what layer, right? What layer I want to change. In this case, let's say if I can, what layer, right? I want all of the layers. But let's do a first try with this character. This asterisk means in a macro means everything or all, right? Again, let's try that first, and I'm gonna press enter. So I want to change the layer. What layer? I'm using the asterisk to say all of the layers. And then I'm gonna accept that with another enter. So let's see. No. Let's, I don't think this is gonna work. We need to specify the layer name. And the layer name is gonna be 0. We know that, right? But first, so let's, there is something missing here, guys. It's that we don't have a selection here, right? How Orca is gonna know what objects are we applying or changing to layer 0? But let's quickly test again. First try. I'm gonna select that. As you can see, nothing happened. Why? Because let's expand that. I knew it's not gonna work, but I wanted to do a quick test. It says chprop select objects previous, no previous selection set. And here we go. We don't have a previous selection set. So what I can do is I'm gonna select. Let me do a second test here, which is I'm gonna copy this code, right? Gonna copy that. And I'm gonna add it right here on the main code, just because over here we might already have a selection, so the code might work, right? So I'm gonna paste it with Control V, and of course we don't need CC at this point, right? Why? Because we are already inside this command. We know we already cancel any previous or active command here with this CC, so we don't need to repeat that. So let me test this. Let's see. This is a second test. Let's see. Let's go over here, And so let's see if somehow, again, we are on the last step, which is change all of our objects to layer 0, color white by layer, of course. Let's see. Let's test it. And nope. Oh, wait. Oh, yes, sure. So let's select, of course, our objects, right? That's the step that we needed. And nope, it didn't change to layer 0. Nope, that's not what we want. This is still another layer. All right, so what I'm gonna do is undo everything. And this second test failed also. So let's try a third solution, which is, since we have polylines, we can use the SSX to select polylines, right? So let's try that alternative. So what I can do is go over here, and I'm gonna simply copy that portion of the text so I don't have to repeat myself. So I'm gonna copy that till here. Copy. And then go back to my small macro. And what I can do is right before the ch prop change properties, I'm gonna paste my SSX code right there. And of course, the entities that I want to select are not text or mtext, right? Are polyline. So let's see if we can select the polyline. Polyline. Hopefully, let's try that. So once we select the polylines, then we can apply the change prop. So let's try that again. Our third. Let's click on it, and no. Says select options P, no previous selection. So let's expand that. Entity polyline. Enter filter name. Nope. It's not working, guys. It's not working. So let's try something else. Very challenging, this request from our client, but hopefully you are learning some good information right here, right? To troubleshoot, to create your own macros. So let me try one more thing here, which is I'm gonna run the ch prop from the command line, right? So I can see what's going on. So I'm gonna say ch prop, right? And so instead of selecting my objects, what I can do is say all, right? So if I say all and press enter, I will need another enter. So press enter. And then we can have access to properties such as the layer, all right? So let's try that. That would be the fourth try, I believe. So let's try that. Properties. In this case, I'm gonna erase this portion of our code. And again, instead of chprop enter, it asks us to select our objects. I'm gonna say all. I'm gonna erase the P, right? Wait, not erase the P. I'm gonna say all and then enter, and then one more time enter was right. And then P for properties, layer. So let's see. Let's test. Well, before we test it, let's run it on the command line again. Chprop all, enter, one more time enter, and then we don't need P. You see here, we can just pick layer. We don't need P. Here we go. So let's try properties again. So again, we know we don't need a P right here. So all, enter, layer, enter, 0, enter. Okay, let's do a final test. I'm gonna go and get my breakfast, guys. So I'm gonna click OK. Let's test it. And boom! Beautifully, guys. Finally, this code works. You can see that we were able to place all of our items on layer 0, color white, by layer, and so on. So great. Now, of course, let's go ahead and add this piece of information. So I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna go and add it over here on our main code. And go all the way till the end. Make sure I'm in the end of my code and paste it with Control V. And of course, we don't need the CC. So I'm gonna erase that and click OK. And I'm gonna erase this because we don't need this small code anymore. And I'm gonna go to the main folder right here, right? And do a final test. Let's cross fingers now that everything is working fine, so we can again go and get my breakfast. All right, so all we did here was place our sink on a lock layer. That's one step that the client will have to do. Again, is because we want to protect the arcs. And then of course we can run our command. Oh, and of course where's this? And of course he doesn't need this information, right? We know that by going over here there is nothing next to the sink. So of course he doesn't need this thing, like you can see it. And then of course if we run our command, click on it, let's select our objects, and nope. It's not working. The color, guys, why is that? The colors are not working, guys, but it did before. So let's span F2, change prop. So select objects B. Wait, we didn't say change objects B. We say all. What's going on right here? Let me undo, guys. Let me undo that. So I'm gonna go to the properties. Something weird is happening. I didn't say P. I remember I changed it for all. Yeah, look. Oh, wait a second. Oh, oh my god. I was panicking here. I thought like, oh my god, I had to again solve this problem. But no, look. By accident, I have two times ch prop. We don't want that. So let me erase this because again by accident I had two times ch prop. So I'm gonna click OK and this should work. Again, crossing fingers. Hopefully this works 100%. Select our lazy CNC and select our items. And boom, guys, beautifully, it's right there. Hopefully this command is gonna help our client, but not only my client, right? All of this entire live stream or recording is gonna help you to see the potential, right? The potential and what all of the things that you can do with macros to automate your work, right? So you can spend less time, right, in AutoCAD and trying to enjoy maybe time with your family or your friends or whatever, right? So I'm gonna stop right here. It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and but we got this to work. The lazy CNC is working. We implemented all of these steps, how to erase specific layers, how to chamfer all of these open boundaries, how to erase dimensions, text, how to erase only curves. Oh my god, so many steps, but the good thing is that we get it to work. And I'm gonna stop right here. And yeah, so let me know on the chat when you watch this recording, because I believe this is one of the most challenging live streams that I had to do on the channel. Had so many difficulties, and you already know that. Okay, so have a great day, and if you didn't know, you missed today's private live stream, right? But hopefully you can meet me next month. We do this by the last Sunday of each month, so you can join me there next time, so that way we can maybe help you, right, create your own macro. We can do that too. So all right, bye bye guys.